House gang. Gang.
How do I link to this?
Click the
tweet it out and I'll retweet it.
Yep.
What's music mode on Clubhouse?
That sounds like something we're gonna get into. I feel like trumpet's not that hard to learn. I really feel like it's like $100 on Amazon. Like shit.
This is a content series. This is a content. Clem learns the trumpet. Oh, I'm excited.
Get like a sombrero or something. Fucking have some fun with it.
Okay, I just figured it out.
Boom, there we go.
All right, live.
We gotta grow this clubhouse. Like everybody in this clubhouse, I think you all get 5 invites, right? You got to send these invites out. We got to get everybody. We got to get all of Mets Twitter on Clubhouse because there's, why are they keeping it? They use this invite thing to grow buzz. We're past that point. Let everybody join Clubhouse.
They're still like in the beta form, right?
Yeah, they had Elon Musk and Kanye had a Clubhouse the other day. Like, when you have those bigger personalities and everybody can get in,
time to go. Yeah, right. Stupid. All right, let's go. We gotta believe we're live and we're in the Clubhouse. I don't know what it's going to take for people to believe me when I say that I don't really care that we didn't get George Springer and Trevor Bauer. I know it sounds silly, but I just really don't care. I don't think either of them were all that good. They're better than what we got, sure. The Mets would be a better team in 2021 with those guys, no doubt. One of those guys, both of those guys. In the long run, I don't know. We'll see. I definitely don't think in the long run having George Springer is a good idea. I swear to God he will be Robinson Cano 2.0. And Trevor Bauer, even if he was going to sign, it was going to be for like a couple years. So it is what it is. I wanted them, not at the cost at which they ended up costing. And so I'm cool with it. I don't know. I'm still set on 3 to 5 years. Everybody who got obsessed with winning a World Series this year is a fucking asshole. It's just not possible.
It's just the world we live in right now where it's like, we have our fun. And we said this as soon as Uncle Stevie was rumored to be getting the team the second time. We have our fun about how we're going to sign every free agent and all this kind of shit. But we knew there was a chance we'd get some sort of move, which we got maybe the best fucking shortstop in all of baseball.
Come on.
Just look at glosses passed. And we got, we didn't get the catcher. We got the number 2 catcher at a fucking bargain, which no one wants to talk about either. The luxury tax is a thing. There might be a fucking salary cap next year, by the time the CBA is all done with. But I'm with you. I'd rather have Springer than Bauer, all things considered, but it's like the L culture.
At that cost?
No, not at that cost. But I'm just saying in general, I would have taken either of them. The Springer was a year's thing. The Bauer was like a money thing, and he might be a legitimate crazy person thing. And there's going to be more moves. Uncle Stevie, it's not just because he has a shitload of money. It's because he's smart as shit. He sees the big picture and all this stuff. There's a reason why he makes all that money. And everyone in fucking baseball, apparently, other than 5 teams, are poor as hell. So I'll just take the next Francisco Lindors that we're going to have to pay a shitload of money to in a year or so. Or we just have him for a 1-year deal. If it's Chris Bryant, someone else. Kyle Hendricks in that trade, or who is it? Gray and Suarez are rumored to be with the Mets too. Anyone that's a pitcher and hitter combo, third base. I will say I am terrified we're going to go into opening day with a fucking Juan Lagares 7.0 at this point. I think we're on in center field. But other than that, I'm 100% fine with no Bauer. The trolling thing. Now, okay, this is the question. Do you think it was trolling? Do you think it was incompetence? As we all work at Barstool Sports. We are great at trolling. We are great at incompetence when it comes to technology. So I kind of don't have a problem with either of those. If he was trolling, I actually kind of like it. And if it was incompetence, I completely understand it, considering our fucking app went down on Super Bowl Sunday.
That could have definitely been a mistake. That's definitely a mistake.
I think that was sloppy.
That stuff, we put those stuff on sale.
Yeah. The only thing that makes me think it wasn't, though, the only thing that makes me think it wasn't was that they put it up and down twice. One time it said LFGM, one time it said LGM. So you already made an edit. And it was on his website and on social media where you don't push out those 2 things at the same time.
That is true. I feel like it might have even been he was closer to the Mets, to signing with the Mets, than people even realize. And, somebody ran with it. And then I think I don't think it was ever intentional. I think it was more like sloppy, or it really seemed like he was going to the Mets for a second. I actually kind of accept his apology. His Twitter thread late on like Sunday night was like, it seemed real. It seemed like he was just like, yeah, I owe you guys an apology. Like, here's what happened. Somebody jumped the gun. And like, it is what it is on that front. The thing is, if it was trolling, like if it's trolling people like me and you, fine. You got to remember that there's like so many fucking like losers on there. Like, there's so many just like regular Joe baseball fans who like were so excited to get a Trevor Bauer t-shirt, and then that turns out to be fake. And like that to them is like the biggest slap in the face, spit in the face. You are upsetting me and my kids, sort of thing. So if it was intentional, to people like us and the internet, the rest of the internet, like fine. To the average baseball fan, that's like the biggest fucking dickhead move you can imagine. So I think it would be crazy if it was an intentional troll. Crazy.
Did you see him complaining about Dodgers fans already?
I know.
If we had him and the first thing he did was jump on and say, Mets fans, I'm glad I'm here, but I don't, respect my privacy, I'd be like, oh, we have made a huge mistake.
Yeah, I know everyone. Jared is like convinced that he's like internet savvy and he won't let anything bother him. He just trolls right back. I'm like, are we talking about the same guy? This guy very, very, very much cares what other people say about him. And as cliche and corny as it is, and as sometimes overhyped as it is, in this case, I think New York would eat that dude alive. I think whether it's people like us, I think people like Craig Carton, I think like people will fucking clown that dude left and right if he's doing his YouTube, if he's not pitching well. He's so easy to rile up. I mean, remember when he was like yelling at random Twitter trolls about like why he deserved the Cy Young? It's like, bro, if you're doing that when you're, in fucking Cincinnati, like, see what happens in New York. I really do believe in this case that was one of those examples of like New York will fucking devour you. So the thing that I hate the most, it's not even that we don't have Trevor Bauer, it's that he went to the Dodgers. Yeah. Dodgers, like the NL championship window is pretty much slammed fucking shut right now for anyone other than the Dodgers. So that makes it tough. But hopefully it's only a couple years, and then it could be our time to shine. What they should be doing right now, I think, is planning for like that 3 to 5 window. Plan for year 3, because I feel like by then maybe some pieces from LA start to fade. A couple people retire, a couple people leave, a couple people get hurt, whatever. And then you go all in, then you strike while you can, because right now it almost seems like a silly idea to try to go all in 2021, 2022, because the Dodgers are just fucking set.
I just hope the Dodgers and the Padres just like wipe each other off, and we have a fucking monster division too. Like the Braves keep, they brought back Ozuna. The Phillies are going for another round with like the same shit they had last year. The Marlins always just be pains in the asses as they're like younger guys. They're like teenagers start growing up in front of our faces, right? The Nats still have some guys. Here's the thing though about Trevor Bauer. First of all, like you said, Kev, like 4 ERA, 3.9, whatever the fuck it is, that's like a real thing. And the guy has a gif of him throwing a fucking baseball over center field because he was getting taken out of the game. He got cut up by a drone in the fucking playoffs. And he became like a pariah on Twitter for like going at people. You put him into the New York Mets, where even Uncle Stevie's taking hits as a fucking untouchable billionaire. I don't even know what Trevor Bauer. He could have been like accused of murder like before opening day, and I'd be like, "Yep, like welcome to fucking New York, buddy." So, like he should just go to LA. There's a million Trevors in LA who are just living that Cali life. All of YouTube channels probably. Go do your thing. Thank God Mike Francesa's on. Can you imagine if Francesa and Bauer? There's a universe where those two are together. It would have been must listen every single week. Like it crushes me that Mike Francesa and Trevor Bauer never crossed paths at the same time professionally, because that would have been incredible.
I think with Bauer, the surprise factor was him winning the Cy Young. I think he was like, I'm going to start a media company because I'm like a middle of the road pitcher and I want to have life after baseball. And then all of a sudden it was like, oh wait, I could maybe make $40 million a year, but now I have to do both, because I think he would have been more relaxed and cool if he knew you can still do a YouTube and you don't need to troll. But when he was like, I got to get my numbers up, I got to get my social media up, I'm going to be a troll. And now he's, the prize, the belle of the ball in free agency. I think that changed things, but he still has to keep going down that path.
Do you think he's more of that 4 ERA pitcher or more of the Cy Young pitcher? He has a bigger body of work showing 4 ERA. His most recent work is Cy Young worthy. Which one is the real Trevor Bauer?
I think it's probably. I think he's going to be that dude again. I don't think he'll be like he was last year. I think it's like in the middle, but closer to last year than the 4. I think it's probably like a 3. He's also 30, so it's not like he's like this like 26-year-old guy who's just humming shit. I think he's going to be like. I think he'll be like in the conversation for the Cy Young for a couple of years. The other thing is I don't know what the fuck. Like, is he just straight up cheating? Or like he said, I'm going to get away with whatever I can get away with. Hey, and I have no problem with that. Let me be clear. I have no problem with that. Garrett, because I don't know what the fuck our guys are doing, right? So I don't know. Jacob deGrom became the best pitcher in baseball. I'm not going to ask either. He cut his hair. He became great. That's what in my mind, that's what made him, take a level up was just a haircut. So Garrett Cole, same thing.
He only pitched 13 games, and everyone's so like high on his spin rate, and like that's why he got so much better. He's got the same numbers as like a Stroman or a Carrasco, and both of those guys you could argue are on the verge of cheaper. There's a reason Stroman came back for one more year because he's going to turn around next year and get the Bauer money if he has a good season. So I mean, for him to, from what I heard, was they were on like 90% done with the Mets, like with the deal being done. I heard that front office was pissed at his agent. I heard that they don't want to move forward because they feel like they use them to turn around and get the guys their money. There's a lot of shit going on.
I mean, there's absolutely no fucking doubt that's what happened. We got absolutely played. We got absolutely used. They got a little bit more money out of LA, and he went exactly where he wanted to go the whole time. That chick sucks, man. She sucks. And everybody makes it about the fact that she's a woman. Like, she just sucks because she's a loudmouth on Twitter. She has no other clients. It's just this one dude. Like, she sucks. And especially, like, nowadays, like, I feel like back in the day, guys like Boris really, really mattered. And now I feel like it's like anything else in this world, you're kind of cutting out the middleman where it's like, it's about the player. Trevor Bauer was fucking lights out last year. I could have negotiated him $40 million a year. I don't think Rachel Luba was like wheeling and dealing, and he was only going to get 25, and all of a sudden she got him to 40. I think she's just kind of like riding coattails and like kind of a loudmouth at the same time. Like that tweet, like Mets fans like will always love. Shut the fuck up. You completely like you either did this on purpose or botched it one way or another. Your tweet shouldn't be like, I know you hate us, but we love you. The tweet should be like, yeah, like we fucked up. So, like, get fucking lost with that chick. I can't stand her. It has nothing to do with being a new agent or on Twitter or being a female. It's just like you fucked up that whole process, pissed off his fan base, and then you were like patronizing about it. Go kick rocks.
Kev, you got headphones?
No.
Let's just call it what it is.
I just tweeted out the link to our YouTube, so I don't know if that has better audio because the stream sounds fine.
So let's just call it what it is. We were hoodwinked, we were led astray, run amok, and flat out deceived by the fucking Bauer camp. That apology too was like it was all on the iPhone, and I swear to God, if he typed that entire fucking 10-tweet thread by himself on his phone, like you just can't have a guy like that. You can't have a 10-tweet threader like in an important role on your team. That could be your 25th man. That could be your bench coach. That could be your fucking bullpen catcher. You can't have that as your number 1, number 2 guy because that's a fucking crazy person, right? I mean, that was fucking bananas. And speaking of Twitter, let's call it what it is. This all comes back to one man and one man only. Bob motherfucking Nightingale. As soon as I saw that tweet, I tweeted, I said, can someone else, anyone else confirm this other than this fucking moron? Because all that tweet told me was that Trevor Bauer was not going to the Mets. He did not have a deal with the Mets, and it was not happening. So I don't know what the fuck we did to get Bob Nightingale, but at the same point, it was nice just to be part of like a seminal moment. Did you see that now? Like Bob Nightingale, there literally people are putting out Bob Nightingale like parody tweets where it's like JFK is going to, Dallas right now. He's driving down. It's a beautiful day. Nothing but good things are going to happen. Like just there's stuff with the Super Bowl. Bob Nightingale getting bobbed. It was like, I think it's crazy. I don't think we've ever really been bobbed before. This was our first real nightingaling. So it's funny too, because like all the Mets fans, like we were the ones who were excited about him, and now we're like, oh, we're fine without him. Then there was all the people who were like, he did, like all the Yankees fans or Braves fans, whatever, all the Mets haters were like, he did that all against the AL Central and NL Central. Now they're like, oh my God, you lost out on the fucking best pitcher in baseball. So it's just the typical same old nonsense. I'm so fucking sick of it. We need fucking baseball to start right now.
Yeah, the Nightingale is, I mean, I didn't even for one like single second consider that was real. Like usually I like kind of get my hopes up, check other sources. Like I was like, nah, if Nightingale's saying it, it's actually completely fucking untrue. He's unbelievable. He's so wrong so often. I like him now. I can't wait. He's like a must follow now. I can't wait to see what's next. He got Ozuna wrong too. Like he turned around right away and got another one wrong. He is the most incorrect man. Is there anybody on the planet worse at their job than Bob Nightingale?
There was a time, and I mean, we sold shirts on him. Chris Broussard. I mean, the sources, the brew crew, all that kind of shit. We need a Bob crew. Looking back now, we need to just make the Bob Nightingale crew.
The Nightingale. The Nightingale. So he got Ozuna wrong. You mentioned the rest of the division. Those PECOTA projections. What the fuck is that about? I mean, that has the Mets running away with the division at 95 wins, has the Braves coming in like almost dead last. I don't put much stock in any of those projections. I certainly don't put stock in the projections that make the Mets look really, really, really good. This is why I get scared though, man. This is why I said it last episode, like this team is fucking stacked, whether people want to admit it or not, whether they end up performing or not. On paper, they're loaded. They're very good. Probably should win 90-something games. And then when people start actually saying that, expecting that, predicting that, projecting that, that's when I'm like, oh, fuck. We're going to be 25 games under 500 now. That's just how it goes for me.
I feel like we're the PECOTA champions. I feel like we're always like some sort of crazy number. I mean, I have it last year. I blogged it last year on February 11th. We were the NL East champions according to PECOTA. Us, then the Nats, then the Braves. So take that for what it's worth.
We won the MLB The Show virtual World Series last year.
That's right. We are World Series champs. We are champions.
It's like, how do they even come out with those rankings for the players, though? Because I sent them to you guys, and all the sabermetrics nerds just pound their chest about Nimmo, and he's the third best outfielder on the team, and Dom Smith is considered an outfielder now.
Oh,
so it's like 67 and 66 in the top 100 are Pete Alonso and Dom Smith, and Dom Smith's a better first baseman than Pete Alonso. So it's like,
what about McNeil? McNeil is like the second best second baseman or something like that. Yeah. I don't think they even have projections of him playing there.
It's absurd.
Nothing fucking makes sense with these. And Nimmo was what, 89 or 93 overall in the top 100, which the Mets Civil War about, I almost like miss like when we used to just banter about that, but like everyone's at each other's throat. That's the other thing I will say about Bauer too. If I had to just like every time he had a bad game, people were bringing up the old tweets and all that kind of shit. Having this, he was like the hot girl that was just going to be nothing but bad news for all of us in the end, right? Like we can admit that he was going to be a problem. So, PECOTA would have loved him though. We might have cracked 100 if we got Bauer on the squad. That would have been nice. 100
what about? I saw the Benintendi three-way deal. I'm
just going to say
Khalil Lee got.
Khalil Lee, right? And then we signed.
He's my guy. He's my minor league guy. Khalil Lee is my minor league guy. There's just something about it. That 264 average, 53 steals. I like his name. That is my future center fielder right there. Fuck Jared Kelenic. Go suck a dick in fucking Seattle. Khalil Lee is my guy. I'm putting him as my guy right now. I don't even know if I'll see him in the majors. He might be the fucking next Kirk Neuenhuis. Khalil Lee is my fucking guy. I have nothing else to believe in center field. I'm losing my mind thinking about Brandon Nimmo out there, like running back on balls that fall fucking right behind second base. I just have to just believe in Khalil Lee right now. So like that's the best thing about being a fan is if you like your minors guys, you can push all your problems back a year or two and be like, once he comes up, everything's gonna be fine. Khalil Lee is my guy. He's my savior.
We are a sad bunch. That is a sad. That's a sad state of affairs when Khalil Lee is the. Oh, yikes!
You guys remember Khalil Green? I hated that motherfucker. I hated Khalil. He stole David Wright's Rookie of the Year. I'll never forgive him for that shit.
Yeah, he was a real son of a bitch, no doubt.
How long do we have to get these extensions done? Because both of these guys said that they don't want to negotiate during the year. So it's like Lindor and Conforto. Is that opening day when they say I don't want, or is it like spring training? Because pitchers and catchers is right around the corner. Like, when do we have to get this done by?
I don't think either's happening.
Yeah. Conforto didn't set a time limit in terms of like it's going to get cut off at this point in spring training, whereas Lindor was like, there's a certain point during the spring training season where I need to lock in and I don't give a shit about anything but baseball. Like, money aside, I'm going to make my money eventually.
Right.
I think they have maybe mid-March at most to try to get something done.
I mean, I find it to be crazy. I know that, you can say like I'll make my money, but like, what if you don't? What if you fucking go blow your knee out? What if sign the fucking papers, get it done, lock it in, go be a shortstop for the rest of, the next fucking 10 years here in New York. Conforto, I feel like is like there's less pressure just because like he's still just going through the process. It's like he was on the team, he came up through there, like he, will sign your deal when it's time to sign your deal. Lindor is kind of like, I think you want to make a statement like, we've traded for you and you're here for a long time. Let's just wrap that shit up and get it done. Lindor looks follow him and his baby mama on Instagram. He just looks like a good guy. Just a family man, a nice kid, always smiling, fucking lights out. Anybody trying to diminish or minimize Francisco Lindor because he's now on the Mets, go ahead. Try it. See what happens. I got people talking to me about all these advanced stats and throwing out, well, he was, this is where he batted in the order. This is how many at-bats he got. He's not that this. He's not that. We'll see. We'll see what happens when Francisco Lindor is under, like, actually in a real city for once with the real spotlight where everybody's watching him. We'll see what happens at the end of the year. Best goddamn shortstop in baseball. He's going to prove it.
Kevin, if you want to threaten people, just threaten them. I mean, we have some fucking crazy people. And like, I feel like you're like threatening violence on someone right now. Go say it. Say we'll fucking kick their ass, or we'll have someone kick their ass.
Things sometimes happen, Things can happen. Not just see what happens.
Kevin from the Bronx just came out there talking about his boy shortstop. I kind of like that. I haven't felt that way about a shortstop since fucking Ray Ordonez when it was like A-Rod, Jeter were like, no, Ray Ordonez, he's better fielder than all those guys. He couldn't hit his way.
Remember that? Remember trying to defend Ray Ordonez when he was batting like $180? Jesus Christ, that was absolutely fucking brutal, man.
To be fair, though, he had like 4 errors that season, and he made like the error before summer. He was so good Imagine being so good defensively.
Yeah,
that's like when Yachty first came up, he couldn't hit a lick, and La Russa was like, "I don't give a shit. He's my catcher because look how he plays defense." That's how the Mets did, except just never came along.
Man, you remember that infield was just absolutely outrageous, and the rest of them could hit, but everybody's glove was fucking bananas. I think Ray Ordonez probably is the best I've ever watched. Like, maybe he didn't have the longest career, or like the Omar Vizquels, or some of the other like superstar gloves in history, but like. At his peak, I don't think anybody was ever a better defender than him. He was disgusting. That was crazy.
I always think of him with that little, like, where he does that roll, where he gets the cutoff and he does that like that roll and throws it to the plate. That was, I mean, it's just shit you just don't see. You know what I mean?
Right.
He was on the cover. He was shirtless on the cover with A-Rod and Jeter, and it was like they all had the flashier plays because they couldn't get to the balls that he was getting to regularly.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's just like he was boring to watch because he was so easy.
He also made some plays that I absolutely don't think he needed to. He cut off the second baseman when the second baseman was just like slowly coming in on the ball and going to throw the guy out by a mile, and he's like tumbling over and still making the play. So it's great, but it was like that was unnecessary.
Yo, back to those rankings: Dom Smith 67, Pete Alonso 66. I mean, what do you do? Like, what if this year Dom Smith keeps it rolling and Pete Alonso struggles again, and it's like Dom Smith's just better than Pete Alonso? What if that happens?
Champagne problems.
It is champagne problems, but it's like I don't think people are ready to admit that Pete Alonso, maybe he's not going to hit 50 again. And if Dom Smith is going to be out here hitting like 30 bombs and 30 doubles and he's a better glove, it's like, well, then he should just play. Especially with no DH. What the listen, I finally conceded the DH and now they're just not going to do it.
That's
I
crazy.
finally gave in and said, like, all right, fuck it. It's going to be better for this team if we have a DH. So I'm going to stop with my baseball purist bullshit. And then they're like, no, we're going to keep all the baseball. I mean, baseball is fucking so stupid. The fact that they are keeping all of the rules that people hated and getting rid of the one that people were okay with is insane. The 7-inning doubleheaders and the runners on second is like universally hated. Universally hated, especially the runner on second. And they're just like, yeah, we'll keep those. I mean, God damn it, they can't get out of their own way.
Rob Manfred. I mean, Theo Epstein not becoming the commissioner by now. Like, that's the only thing I thought that was going to be the saving grace and all this. Like, when it looked like he wasn't going to go to a team, or like, well, at least Theo's going to take over. Nope, this guy is going to be here like C League for like the next 20 fucking years, running the sport into the ground head first. It's unreal, and it's such a mind fuck that like. I think I still, like, all things being equal, I would still not like the DH if, like, the Mets weren't in this predicament. But the fact the Mets are in it, I am rooting hard for the DH.
Right.
I would love to have National League Baseball back. I don't think it's going to happen starting next year. I think the DH will be here to stay. It is unbelievable.
That's the thing is, like, if you're going to bring it back next year, then why would you just have one random season sandwiched between for no fucking reason other than the fact that they said it's not health protocol? That's why they had the runner on second to start the extra innings. It's like, oh, we want to speed up the games for health protocol. It's like, give me a fucking break. All that means is that there's going to be an 11-inning game where your team gets fucked, the Mets, more so than anybody else.
Anybody, yeah. I mean, we would benefit so goddamn greatly from that. It's fucking insane.
That will be the ultimate, the Dom versus Pete, if that does happen, though. Like, if you say the DH doesn't come, and there's even a chance the DH won't come, something happens along the way, and Dom plays great, Pete does not, that will be the ultimate fucking civil war. It will be Ike Davis versus Lucas Duda on fucking the Barry Bonds juice. It will be craziness. And the fact that they're both
if you had to pick a team side right now, who are you picking?
I'm not Kevin. I said last year I'm not doing it. I refuse to fucking do it. You'll have to kill me. Rosario versus Jimmy.
Kyle, who are you picking?
That's so tough.
Kevin's just Kevin.
I actually love Dom Smith. I think that he's just like an all-around great player. Like, he can pinch hit, he can do everything. He's a better defender. But I mean, Pete was on pace for even 40 last year, even with him struggling. You got to go with that guy because he's going to be like the face of the franchise if he can put it back together. Whereas Dom, I just think is a nice player. Dom becomes like a Conforto, where like you're like, yeah, I'd love to have him, but he's not like pushing the franchise forward. I don't know. Don't make me pick.
I was gonna say Kev is definitely a Dom guy because you and Pete got into your little like tiff online, but Dom literally has you blocked on Twitter. So
no, it's not about who. Yeah. Pete talks shit to me. Dom has me blocked. I'm forever out here just slinging it. I'm never going to be friends with anybody. I mean, listen, if he goes back to like 50 home runs, sure. But if it's like, I mean, there were nights where Dom Smith would be like 4 for 5 with a couple doubles and a fucking play in the field. And like, I just want the DH so I can play both of them and not have to worry about it, because I think Dom Smith is going to make it way more of a competition than I think anybody would have ever thought after watching Pete Alonso break a rookie record of home runs. So maybe one more year of this shit, and then let's go universal DH. I'm going to become the biggest fucking proponent of the DH after being against it my whole life. Or you move one of them for like a monster move. You know what I mean? Like if you trade Dom Smith now.
The biggest thing people overlook, though, is like Dom got drafted out of high school. Dom's a year younger than Pete. So they're putting it together at the same time. Like, this dude jumped from high school to Major League Baseball and had to, like, figure it out over a longer time frame, and that's why people hold it against him. But if he's coming into his own at the same time, yeah.
Right.
I will say this about Pete, too. I mean, at least, his rookie year, he was so fucking clutch. Like, just think of I've never seen a guy come up like he did, at least for the Mets, every single fucking time. It seemed he came up huge, let alone all the shit, off the field. And it seems like Dom is more of a quiet dude, but everyone loved him. When he was on the scooter, he was like the most beloved player. I've never seen a guy get that kind of love. Brent, do you lean one way or another?
I mean, I think the fact that we even hesitated is a huge Dom sign. I mean, this should be Pete Alonso's job locked up, but it calls into question. So I mean, I'm going with Pete. Though. I'm going to say Pete on record.
Last year was a weird year. Like if he comes out in an almost full regular season and just mashes again, it's a no doubter after that. But it's more of a testament to to Don Smith than anything than a knock on Pete Alonso. But we'll see. How about this? Would you now seeing everything shake out the way it did? Would you rather have gone after Arenado, or are you happy with Lindor?
I'm happy with Lindor. I wish we went after Arenado instead of playing footsie with Bauer and whatever happened with Springer. I wish we could have gotten both. I don't know if that really works. If then we're going to extend Lindor, have Arenado's contract, and Conforto, potentially Noah in a year. It's going to get really dicey really quick. So I don't know if that all adds up. But in terms of one or the other, I think it has to be Lindor, right?
I'm a Lindor guy. I've loved him from day one. I've always loved him. I've always been on his dick. I cannot believe he's a Met. He is my guy. If there was a chance to get both, I mean, looking at what the Rockies did and what the Cardinals gave up, I mean, anybody could have traded for him. But it didn't take anything. It just took money. That I wish, and that to me would have basically been like a free agency signing. Like you would have to give up some bullshit prospects, but you would have had to just take on the money, and we know Stevie can do that.
You think if we had a consistent GM all the way through that maybe we could have made both moves?
I get so angry about this. I thought about that this morning. I was thinking about some GM on a team. Oh, they were talking about Hein Bloom because they traded Benintendi, and I'm just like, who the fuck is our GM again? Like I couldn't remember. I'm like, how the fuck did this happen to us? We had Cohen got the team in November, and Sandy I know was we're supposed to have 2 GMs, and we have no GMs right now. It fucking is the Bill Parcells theory with quarterbacks coming true with general managers. Zach Scott.
Yeah, for the record.
It's Sandy Alderson. He's our fucking GM.
Yeah,
so I'm just believing in the baseball maverick at this point, which I hope he was like the Trevor Bauer. Did you hear the report about he had to make a decision by noon? I hope he fucking put his dick down, and that's why Trevor Bauer is here, because he didn't sign by noon. That's what I'm going to tell myself. But it just drives me crazy that we just don't have a fucking general manager. Like I feel like Zach Scott is just in title. It's assistant to the general manager.
They had Hein Bloom on Section 10. And he has such a vision and such a clear line of how to get to where he's going. And it was just, I was pulling my hair out having to listen to it because it's a full teardown in Boston. Like, don't get me wrong, we would have had to deal with that. But it's he perfectly laid out why the Dodgers are the Dodgers right now. And he's like, I'd go get Mookie Betts too, because they were already the best team in baseball because they had this whole foundation. He's like, when we get there, we'll go do that too. And I'm like, fucker.
I know, and it could have been ours. I mean,
we have Kalenic too. We'd have Kalenic and Hein Bloom if the Wilpons, but we'd have the Wilpons. We'd have the Wilpons. I'm going to just fucking pump the brakes here. No, we would have had fucking Cohen in a year too, because the Wilpons weren't going to magically get money. God damn it. There's a way. One of the 1 in 14 million things, the Wilpons actually ass backwards, hire the right GM. He doesn't trade Kalenic for a closer and a fucking bag of balls in Cano. And we have, oh God damn it. We have a World Series this year. That's what we'd have. I'm sorry.
It's like what's his face in the Avengers sitting there going through all the different possibilities. And there was one where it was Hein Bloom, Kalenic, Cohen, Lindor. All of it came true. There was one scenario, and obviously
those fans are having the time of their lives right now. They are having a fucking ball right now.
They're having cake and punch at a parade already, because that is the dream team right there. Instead, we are a GM-less team with no infrastructure, a great owner, and a shortstop. There's a lot of good, there's some bad. You know what scares me? Thinking about one of these years, just DeGrom not pitch to a 1.9. What if this year is just Jake was tired or something happened and he has a 3.8 or something. I won't be able to handle that. I have penciled in Jacob DeGrom 2 ERA every year for the rest of my life.
Don't you think there's also a chance that yeah, you're right. If he does 3.8, then that's a problem. But can we give the guy 2.5 and 17 wins? Maybe we could hit for him a little bit, and then he can have a little bit of leeway where he doesn't have to be razor thin perfect and just get a ton of wins and win a Cy Young that way. That would be nice. Wins would be nice. I know wins are overrated stat, but I like to have wins as a team. That's not overrated in that sense.
Jacob's most wins in his career were 15. It was a year he had his highest ERA, 3.53. If that's not a fucking just complete slap in the face of wins meaning a fucking thing, there it is for you. 3.53, 15 wins, 1.7 ERA, 10 wins. It's fucking crazy. It is. It's upside down world. He's in the upside down. He pitches in the upside down. Just turn it right side up and let him fucking cook. God,
do you think DeGrom's already doing the spin rate pine tar stuff, and that's what like part of? Is that like a unknown thing that
he's doing steroids? I mean, he's throwing.
I'm just wondering if he has that extra gear.
He's throwing it like 8 miles per hour faster. It's insane. There is literally no natural way you account for what he's doing.
Get this dude some pine tar, and he just won't give up an entire a run at all.
Right.
Like 27 strikeouts.
If that is all natural, then start cheating, and you will be absolutely untouchable, Jake. It's disgusting what he does.
They have to lower the mound again.
Yeah, right. They'll have to change the rules for him. It's crazy.
Well, he has an opt-out in 2022, so now they're already saying, like, oh, if he opts out, like, do you have to extend him as the Mets, and how do you spread that money around? And I'm like, we've got enough fucking problems with extensions already. Like, let's not look that far ahead.
I mean, if he has another lights-out year, he is opting the fuck out because he is grossly underpaid. Would you sign right now for a subpar Jacob deGrom year to ensure that he doesn't opt out in 2022?
Why don't we just make this right with our billionaire and have him just extend him?
Yeah.
Just be like, here, I'm going to tack on 2 more years at the end of your contract for $100 million each because you deserve it. It doesn't make any sense except for the fact that you've already earned that money here.
Like if you're him and you're watching that bum Trevor Bauer make $42 million a year or whatever, like fuck that.
But he made that decision. You know, I mean, like he knows how good he was. I think it had to be like, I want to stay here. He signed on for staying with the Wilpons. He didn't know this was going to happen. That's his decision.
Yeah.
But he does. I think he should just give him more money. I think we should do a GoFundMe for a guy who has hundreds of millions of dollars.
Whoever his agent needs to be absolutely fired.
Brody's intern.
Right.
I wouldn't be surprised if he's just going to opt out anyway. He's like, you know what? This may be wrong, but it was such a comical like miscalculation on my part. Fuck this contract. Every day I'm on this contract, it pisses me off. And he opts out, in 20. Just give him the Brady deal. Whatever they worked out with Brady, Robert Kraft under the table, give him the same exact part of the team, whatever it may be. Give him can't Stevie give him part of sack? Like 0.001%.
Right.
Like, think about it. If Steve Cohen's like, listen.
Hey, that do with Bitcoin.
I was going to say that.
It's money. If money's what he wants, money is all Steve Cohen can give him. That's fine. That's the least of our problem. But that 2022 opt-out is going to be in the back of our heads because then we're going to have Lindor, Conforto, potentially Thor, all with huge deals. And it's going to get – and at that point, there could be a salary cap or like a hard luxury tax. And I'm worried about that.
Oh, God. If they roll out a hard cap –
I bet you honestly, when I saw the tweet the other day that the Dodgers are at like $230 million and the Pirates are at $30 million, that really might they might put a cap in. That's crazy. It's starting to get like comical where it's like, I mean, come on, how can you compete? It is just not even close to an even playing field if teams are going to do this. So a cap of like 200 and a floor of like 100, I think is probably pretty realistic at some point.
I saw too, like they're saying the cap there'll be a hard cap, but it would be like so high because the players union's not going to agree to like anything that isn't preposterous.
Right.
But there has to be something at some point because it's fucking.
All right, then give me a floor. I think a floor is more reasonable because then that just forces people to at least compete a little bit. But let's do a couple calls from Clubhouse. Yeah. All right. Raise your hand. How do you? Raise your hand if you want to talk. That like a little logo pop up, right?
Yep.
Do none of you motherfuckers want to talk today? It's the whole point of doing Clubhouse.
The hands. I got the hands.
Okay, you got that. Put them in.
Garvey,
what up? How are you, man?
I'm just getting ready for practice here, but I was wondering what you guys think as far as our rotation, our lineup goes. I don't think that there's any holes really whatsoever. You guys, I mean, there's a lot of talk about Nimmo being, I know he's subpar, but I feel like there's really nothing wrong with this team.
Well, famous last words from a Mets fan. I mean, you're not wrong. First of all, Nimmo sucks. He just sucks. He stinks. He stinks, and I will be proven right on that one day. But even Nimmo notwithstanding, I do agree. Like, there's not
a glaring.
Well, the bullpen's always a crapshoot, but I think you count on Edwin Diaz playing like he had last year. You know, you have like a good closer again. There's at least somebody anchoring every level of the team. You know, the offense, the rotation, the bullpen, defense. Like, they should be good. They really should.
I'm going to pose this question to you guys. So I think, like, obviously we want the 5 aces back. That'd be something that'd be completely ideal. But we also want to upgrade third base. If you could take somebody from a past Mets team, and I'm going to set this up like, if you could have Doc Gooden come back and be in the rotation, but you have to add Jason Bay to your lineup. David Wright over at the hot corner, but you have Mike Pelfrey.
I think I learned my lesson with the desire to have the 5 aces. I think that it's very unrealistic to have 5 pitchers all pan out and be good. And so no matter how much you stack it, I don't think it works the way you want it to. I think at this point, I'll almost always take the everyday player over the pitcher. So give me a spinal stenosis-free David Wright. Give me a 2007 David Wright, and I'll rock with, Philip Humber in the fucking rotation.
I take Heilman back.
You take Heilman back?
If it meant David Wright was happy and healthy, I'd like make Heilman my son, basically. Yeah. I'd have to change his diapers and shit. I don't care. Whatever it takes to make David happy.
Yeah. Who else we got?
That was a good one, Gardy.
We got Lyle Hoffman.
What up, Lyle? How are you?
My name's Lyle. I'm a Mets fan.
Awesome. What we got?
Today they're taking offers for Betances and Familia, and also re-talking to Justin Wilson, who's becoming the bullpen version of Juan Lagares.
Oh, Jesus.
If you guys could get rid of, I guess, Betances or Familia, which I don't think they need to make anything. They don't need to touch the bullpen. The bullpen is finally in a spot where I feel like we got this going. But if you can get rid of one of those two, who would it be?
I mean, you got to get rid of Familia. Come on. we cannot be trotting Familia out there anymore. We cannot do that. Come on. Oh, we know how that goes. Fucking skinny Familia versus fat. I mean, it doesn't matter. Familia just stinks.
He's riding bikes too. It looks like he's fucking like got into like the if he's into Lance Armstrong shit, like blood cycling and stuff.
Hey, well, yeah. Listen, if these guys cheat, I'll take them all. But
bring back what was it? Henry Mejia, the dude that got pinched like 3 times.
The ultimate cheater. The ultimate cheater. Bring him back. I don't give a fuck, man.
I think Familia has to be the answer. Like out of any like Met of the last 20 years, I think it goes Benitez and Familia in terms of guys that just like haunt my dreams, right? Yeah, the Familia coaster is a thing for a reason.
I'll never forgive him for the quick pitch in 2015. I just won't. Yeah. I just won't. If the Mets win Game 1 of that series, they win that series. They didn't win it because of that dumb quick pitch bullshit. It's just I'll never forgive him. So get Familia the hell out of here. Let's do one more call, whatever you want to call it, on Clubhouse, and then we'll get out of here.
All right, Michael.
I thought you were going to tell Familia to get bent, which is a good like insult to someone telling someone to get bent.
What up, Michael? How are you?
Good, guys. Hey, just going to go off the last question that we had here about the bullpen. What's our tolerance level this year for Edwin Diaz?
My tolerance level for anybody is 0. I can't take. I have been burned too many times with bad bullpens, good pitchers pitching badly. If Ed Luz Diaz comes out and stinks again, I'll hate him instantly. And if he's good again, yeah, I can't do that stuff. I begrudgingly gave him my trust again after he was just like lights out long enough. If it's not like that to start the season, I'm calling them at lose again. I mean, I can't. I don't have the emotional capability anymore to be like patient with a bullpen. I don't have it. So if they stink, then that's it. I'm gonna say they stink. And when they get good, I'll be happy they're good. But there's no way I have the mental fortitude to withstand a shitty bullpen right now.
I am going to be the last guy off the Edwin Diaz ship if it sinks this year, because you guys know if he has that song, you guys know I am like I like stupid shit, and that song is the best song. And my fucking son, it's his favorite song right now. He goes, Alexa, play Blaster Jacks. That's what he fucking like. What kind of a kid knows Blaster Jacks? I didn't even know what Blaster Jacks was until last year. So his favorite song, that song is so good. I will believe in Edwin Diaz. I'll be the last one on the Edwin Diaz train. I should say this. Or our guy, Joe DeMeo, the PSL.
Oh, my God. Joe DeMeo, Joe DeMeo, I think, has sex with Edwin Diaz. It's crazy. All right. Well, I mean.
Parting words is but you guys, one thing you guys didn't mention was Jed Lowry just signed with the A's. So just final thoughts on that.
That is this will be the ultimate, like, fuck baseball. The A's are doing black magic. They bring back Jed Lowry back from the dead like he's fucking Jon Snow, and he's going to come in.
He'll probably be like an MVP. Or he'll be like comeback player of the year. Like he'll be fucking awesome.
Frank the Tank was losing his mind. He's like, already going to be comeback player of the year. And he was like listing the stats of what it was going to be. I was like,
of course.
They're getting him on the minor league deal. So it's like it's like $1 million. Meanwhile, we're doing 20.
Honestly, if that guy gets back on the field, good for him.
Yeah.
If he ever steps back on the field again.
If it was any other team, I'd be like, all right, we'll see. Like if it was like the Orioles or someone just taking a flyer. The Rays and the A's at this point have come to the point where it's like he's going to come back. He's going to be very fucking good, and he's going to piss me the fuck off. As we got Villar, who sounds awesome. Everyone like says, he's good.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't believe we got him on the deal we got him on too. Like as a backup, he's cheap. He can run. Speed is tough to get these days. Power is everyone has fucking power now. Get some guys with speed that can actually fucking play as alive. I love that deal. And this was the last one I wanted to hit, Kevin. Did you see the thing about Cespedes? Did you see that report that came out the other day?
He was just like ripping cigs while like something important was going on or something like that.
Everyone was like scouting the Royals, and he was on the couch on his own, just ripping butts right before Game 1 of the World Series. And you know what? I wouldn't change a fucking thing.
No,
that guy was ripping
fine.
butts from the time he came here to the time he fucking left. He was just ripping butts, not giving a fuck, and that's what turned him into the guy he was. So I wouldn't have changed a thing.
He was so dialed in that year that like whatever, man. He could have done anything he wanted.
You know what was so great? He was like the 80s. He should have been on the 86 Mets. Like he's crushing the crabs. He's ripping heaters in the tunnel before in between at bats. Like he's just old school baseball.
Wrong era. Yep, he was just in the wrong times. A time traveler, and the Boers got him.
Oh, I forgot. Khalil Lee is a fucking hose too. I cannot wait for Khalil Lee to come up to the
boy.
Big. He is a fucking hose. He's a cannon.
All right, we'll catch you guys next week on Clubhouse and on the podcast, and a couple more weeks before we got some baseball to talk about. So only a little bit longer that we got to continue to believe.
Gotta believe.